Hi, I'm Scott Wilson. I'm one of the judges for the Toronto Moto Film Festival this year. An honor and a privilege to be a part of this team yet again. This is my second year in a row, and one of the big differences that I noticed personally this year versus last year is this year there's a real strength in the shorts, I feel. Last year there was a real strength in the features, and that's not to take anything away from the features this year, but just one of the first things that I really noticed as I started to go through these films. I had mentioned to some of the other team members as well, some of the other judges, that it becomes really, really difficult to compartmentalize these films into a series of categories, out of rating out of 10. Sometimes it's really, really difficult to categorize the emotional journey that you're put on by watching some of these films, the amount of emotion that goes into it, the amount of blood, sweat, and tears and heart and passion that goes into these films from all the filmmakers. And for some of them, these are multi-year odyssey journeys to put these films together. So to then at the end of an hour and a half or even 15 minutes to say, 3, 1, 7, 10, 9, it's really difficult. And I really do take it to heart and put a lot of thought into it because you're invested, you're emotionally invested, and it becomes really difficult. So it's not an easy task, but it is still a task I love being a part of. We get to see a huge breadth in type of film, not just obviously shorts and features, but this year being able to see some scripted film, and I was completely blown away by a film called Reappear, which was nice to see a scripted film and an incredibly well executed cinematography through the roof short entered this year in hopes that this might get developed into a feature maybe in further years. Masterfully shot, wonderfully written and put together, simple story, but heartfelt and very well executed, and really, really enjoyed it. A lot of the Moto films that come in are by nature documentary related. They're about these journeys that people do with motorcycles, or a story, a personal story with a motorcycle. So to actually have something scripted was a nice change. Also this year, with all that we've gone through from a quarantine and pandemic perspective, to see so many films. In fact, I think just about every entry was incredibly inspiring, heartwarming, uplifting. Those notions of positivity are so well received in a year like this, when we all really need it. The inspiration to get out and explore when sometimes right now our wings might be clipped and we might not be able to do that. It's a reminder of better times and how we will get back there. And that's, as I say, really well needed as we close out, at least here in Canada, another riding season. Another film that I found very inspiring and wonderfully well shot was another short film called Litas, about the Litas Club, all women's riding club in California. And, basic execution, who, where, when, why, but unbelievably shot. Every frame just crafted and well lit, well cut, story well told, really, really excellent execution. And then to see some people and the lengths that they go to with their motorcycles to travel warms my heart, being an avid traveler myself for both work and personal. Be it on motorcycle or other. It's really great to see the lengths that some people are going to around the world, multi-year journeys on motorcycles, and being able to, on top of that burden of just getting through that task, to film and put together a film is an incredibly difficult ask. And so I can definitely appreciate the lengths that those people, those men and women have gone to. wrapping up another great Moto Film Festival, even if it does seem a bit different this year. Still an honor and a privilege to be a part of it, and my thanks to all the other judges, to the entrants, and to Caius for once again putting this wonderful festival together. Thanks.
Hello, TMFF audience 2020. We should call ourselves the survivors. Much like the festival, we're all here to enjoy films, and we're doing it despite all the barriers that have been presented this year. So, in keeping with that fighting spirit and that endless grit and resourcefulness that I look for in motorcycle movies, here are some of my favorites. So, feature length, I was quite captivated by the unflagging positivity of the main character in When the Road Ends, which is a wild adventure that is predominantly on the water, but always with a motorcycle. So if that doesn't pique your interest, I'm not quite sure what would. And also that the gentleman at sea had never been at sea, and then he struck out on his handmade craft by himself on a sea that he had never been on. So honestly. And then In the Red, which is a documentary as well, but of a very different kind, about a spirited group called the Tigers, and they are a flat track club in Scotland. So keep your glasses on because you'll need to read the subtitles. Almost as exciting as the races and the build-up to the championship is the deciphering of Scottish accents. Other people will also potentially mention The Space Between, which is an Isle of Man TT documentary. Those are always thrilling, as we know. And I would be remiss not to mention some Canadian content, which really struck a chord as being beautifully Canuckian in its spirit and its presentation. It's a little more lo-fi, but it's got so much heart. And a ton of quirky humor. So yeah, look out for a Biker Bob's posthumous adventure. That's correct. In Canada, we have fun even after we die on our bikes. That's something to look forward to, I guess. You know, if you, it's the biker version of The Great Beyond. So yeah, other than that, the usual beautiful assortment of adventurous individuals coming up against and surmounting difficulties, and beautiful landscapes and fantastic bikes and kooky personalities and inspiring individuals, and the whole thing. Even a little narrative thrown in there, like a totally fictional motorcycle story. And I'm not even going to tell you the title because you should just look through all the selections to find the things that you want to watch when you want to watch them, which is all the films if you so chose a pass. So it was great seeing you all. Sophia signing off, and hoping that you enjoy the films as much as I did. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, I'm Kirsten Madura, one of the judges for the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival. I am the founder of Engines for Change and also Moto Market NYC. I have been asked to talk a little bit about some of my favorite films from this year. There were a lot to select from. They were great. The ones that really stood out to me as my particular favorites were When the Road Ends was definitely near and dear to my heart. I grew up sailing, so that component really spoke to me, and it was so original. I really loved that it was a motorcycle movie the whole way through, but in a really unconventional way. Plus the gumption, oh my God, I was so impressed. The content, the story arc, you know, the narrative, everything that he went through was inspiring. I also really loved Somewhere Else Together. I thought that was exactly what I hope to see in a round the world trip film. You know, it showed us enough that we really understood what they went through to be able to get there. It was really inspiring. it was also a great personal story. You really got to know, you know, the couple who was in the story, and that was amazing. I got to learn a lot about the world. I learned about, you know, new people. I got to see who they encountered along the way. So that was really wonderful. In terms of shorts, the ones that really stood out to me were Fast Eddie. I loved it. I feel like I know Eddie. I feel like we're best friends, even though he's never met me. So that was really well done. And I also really liked Reappear. I mean, I really thought it was original that there was a narrative film in there. It was beautifully shot, beautifully written, really stunning. Really appreciated that one. There were also some other great, just legends of films in there, so thank you guys for submitting them. And I also want to say a huge props and shout out to the fact that there were so many women filmmakers this year. So many crew. I was actually in the had a film in the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival last year, and I remember going up for a panel, and it was just myself and one other woman who was the subject of the film, and I was like, you know, it would be really cool to see more women filmmakers here, and this year, you ladies knocked it out of the park, so thank you guys for participating. Please keep making films, and I can't wait for you guys to see all of the films that I got to watch over the last few months. Thank you so much for submitting.
Hi there, I'm Dustin Woods, Managing Editor for Canada Moto Guide, and I'm honored to once again be a member of the judging panel for the Toronto Motorcycle Film Festival. 2020 has no doubt been a strange year in every conceivable way, and many of us will be watching these films at home, by ourselves, or socially distanced with friends or possibly with family. I'm really looking forward to how people react to the films this year. We've got a great selection. I really enjoyed watching them. So many great stories, from small, shorter features to longer films. The quality was incredibly high. It just seems to be getting better every year. Some amazing motorcycles and some wonderful human-centric stories that we know you're going to love. So stay safe and get out the popcorn, and I hope you enjoy. Take care.